strung up in the psych ward. 'Cause every day living in this new world is one too many days to me. Son, we're on the brink of the next world war, and I don't think nobody's praying no more. And I ain't saying I know it for sure. I'm just down on my knees begging the Lord to take me home. I wanna go home. I don't know which road to go. It's been so long. I just know I didn't used to wake up feeling this way, cussing myself every damn day. There's always some kind of bill to pay. People just doing what the rich man say. I wanna go home. Now 4 generations farming the ground. Grandson sells it to a man out of town. And 2 weeks later, the trees go down. Only got concrete growing around. I wanna go home. I wanna go home. I don't know which road to go. It's been so long. I just know I didn't used to wake up feeling this way, cussing myself every damn day. People have really gone and lost their way. They all just do what the TV say. I wanna go home. If it weren't for my old dogs and the good Lord, they'd have me strung up in the psych ward.
All right, a little bit different intro tonight. Didn't really ramp anybody up, did it? A little bit different, guys.
He's pretty laid back.
That's Oliver Anthony. I'm sure everyone by now has heard about Oliver Anthony at this point. So that's another song he had out there. I actually had heard this guy before, a few days before it went viral. I just happened to be on YouTube and it came up for whatever reason. And I hopped on there and I was like, I kind of like this guy.
Yeah, I remember you posted something about that, actually.
And then all of a sudden it blew up and he took off. And like Jamie thinks he's crazy. He turned down $8 million. Actually turned down 2 contracts. But hey,
I do think he is.
No, I guess probably what did it is that guy's a patriot. He doesn't really take a side politically. I don't even think he follows politics. Just I've been kind of digging into what he is and what he believes. And this guy's just upset and he feels crappy. He had some mental issues actually because of how the country's going. And I think he just kind of speaks to everybody. Mm-hmm. Whether you're with a Trump guy or DeSantis or whoever it might be, whatever it is, I think everybody feels this way. And he's a big patriot when it comes to his rights. He just wants to be left alone and have the government.
Everybody on the right, you mean? Because Democrats don't like this guy.
Very true. Democrats don't like anybody. Freedom. That's absolutely right. So, hey, I guess why don't we get rolling here? And, we can't not start without the Second Amendment. So here is our Second Amendment, the well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And I can tell you what, with some of the things we're going to cover tonight,
they're trying.
It's getting. I mean, it's everywhere. It's just every single time you turn around. Let's go ahead and say hi to a few people. Trampus, good to see you. Good evening from the haying field. I think he's knocking down some millet or something. I think he told me here.
Awesome.
Eric, good to have you with. We're going to see him on Sunday this weekend, so we're going to have him and his family out. It'll be a good time. There, if you're not doing nothing, drive down. We're going to have some smoked pork butt.
I'll be on the river smoking some Coors Light.
Waylon, good to see you. Waylon Turnus, good evening. Hey, Mr. MVE. I don't see him. Is he here?
Yeah,
There he
he's
is.
here.
Mr.
Oh, yeah,
Brian.
he
There we
is.
go.
Oh,
Zach
yeah.
Meyer, JB for president.
Hey, all right, Zach, you bet. We'd be a lot
Oh.
better off than we are with Joe, I'll tell you that.
And Paula, good to see you. She's always here. She goes, years and beers ago, Marty, years ago. She said something about Mule Creek Junction was
Marty
good
did.
back
He
in
said
the day,
Mule
yeah.
Creek Junction was pretty good. That was one of the bands my mom. I think they actually went to Wrangler Country Challenge. I ended up going to Nashville. And they didn't win down there, but they did make it to Nashville. So
okay. One shot cap. Welcome home, Patriots. Boy, I'm glad. I hope everybody does think of us. We try to be Second Amendment focused, but this is bigger than that. I think it's bigger than all of us, and that's why we're here. I think.
You bet.
Should we tell them right away what our last show is going to be?
Yeah, go for it, Clayton.
In the crosshairs, our last show will be on the 11th, I believe, right?
Yep.
That's the first month. There's no show next week, but we're going to go ahead and drop that show. No hard feelings between us and KFYR Plus streaming.
It was awesome. Great opportunity.
It was. And they told us we can come back anytime we want if we want to bring something up or talk to Jay Dillon there. Like I said, it had nothing to do with them. Jamie and I just kind of looked at it, looked at the numbers. They come down to a numbers thing. And they just aren't there as far as we're concerned. I know that was pretty good on their side as far as the viewers, but it was still pretty low as a whole.
And the time you got to put in, I don't know, a lot of people don't think it takes time. I mean, it takes time. It's
tons of time.
A lot of times I was busy on Sundays and I'd have to get up, an hour early before I went in and do all the research we were going to talk about, print stuff off. So, I mean, hey, time's money. And
absolutely. So that's just the way that one goes. And if it turns out someday we go back there, we'd be no problem going there. But we're going to drop that one and just focus on our Friday show with Todd Mitchell, and then, of course, our Wednesday night live stream. So it'll maybe free up a little more time. I can tell you, it was, guys don't realize that.
Yeah.
A lot of work for that half hour.
I get an hour for lunch, but usually takes me by the time I got home and did that 45 minutes. So when I get back, time I got back from lunch, luckily I worked for a great employer and they didn't really care if I was coming back 15 minutes late. So,
yeah, absolutely. Hey, David, good to have you. 1760 Sports. I don't know if he's done with his shooting circuit, if he's been doing any lately. I haven't been on Fash's book much, so I guess I don't know. But
I didn't see that he was. So.
And Lynette, good to have you. Oh,
hey, Lynette. She's got the mug shot.
I'll wait with these later, guys. Stay tuned here when we do the Patriot Company of the Week. So, well, Donald, should we get rolling here?
You got it, Clayton. Let's hit it.
Go. You want to start out? Or you want me to?
You go for it. Go for it. I'll take the next one.
All right. So here our first subject, and I guess it makes sense. California and Illinois already have these laws. Essentially, what's happening is states, they're always trying, especially the commie states, they're always trying to curb access, they say, to youth, individuals for firearms, even though that's not the problem. So we're going to kind of tackle what's happening with firearm marketing bans. And I'll give you one good example of how this is affecting everything. I just showed this to Jamie when we went to look at an article on NRA. This is what you're going to find now when you hit the NRA, like American Hunter or American, well, any of the ILA stuff, I imagine. I don't know if you can read this, everybody, but it says some states have passed legislation making it unlawful to communicate with those under 18 about broad categories of firearms parts and accessories. As a result, the NRA is now forced to restrict the sending of certain materials and information for these states. The restriction is made under protest, but we have to do this to comply with these states' infringement on the freedom of speech of the NRA and our members, supporters, and general public. Once this unconstitutional law is struck down or repealed, this restriction will be removed. And then it asks you to proceed. You have to enter your month, your day, and your year of your birth so that they can confirm you're 18 years or older. I think in some states, I bet it's even 21.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
I know that some of the other
children,
guns,
Clayton.
Yeah, all the way. Well, remember the article we just did? They're children up to 30, according to one study.
Yeah, Monday I didn't cross.
I just couldn't believe that, up to 30. But this is where we're at, guys. I've always said this. They're coming after the Second Amendment. They've been doing that for decades. But I said the Second Amendment, the First Amendment will be the next one, and they're doing it. And there's 5 parts of the First Amendment, if anyone's not familiar with the Constitution. It ain't just religion and speech. Petition, assembly, and press are the other 3. I'm telling you right now, they're really going after the petition. And you're seeing that right now, how President Trump's he's being indicted, it seems like, every time he turns around. And with that, they're trying to keep him off the ballot now under the 14th Amendment, which is ludicrous. But you know what? Nothing surprises me anymore. We have a communist party, and it's in a Democrat party, but that's a whole nother rabbit hole. We'll get back on track here.
Yeah, you're right, Zach. And it kind of isn't that against the First Amendment. It is, but unfortunately, these states are run by leftist commies, and they're just they're saying, come take us to Supreme Court then. So they're just going to go through all the channels. And I mean, I guarantee other states are going to pass this crap now too.
I can tell you right now, everybody thinks that, well, the NRA or groups like gun owners, they think our side's well funded. It is not. Never has been. Not when you compare it to the left.
No.
They are so well funded, they don't care if they drop $100 million. Because they'll just get a Bloomberg or someone else to step up and give them more. So they keep you in court, battle after battle after battle, hoping you will, one, either concede, two, make a deal, or just go away. Because they don't care if they have to take it to the highest court level, because they know they probably can outspend you. And that's where we're at right now.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So,
well,
anyway, I'm just going to kind of hit on this. Two states I'm gonna really hit on. Of course, California got Governor Gavin out there. He's a moron. By the way, he thinks he can now pass the 28th Amendment on his own.
Yeah.
Obviously, he hasn't read the Constitution.
To protect your Second Amendment rights, Clay.
Yeah, they're going to protect the Second Amendment rights by abolishing it with the 28th. First of all, to even get there, you have to have, I believe it's 2/3 just to initiate an Article 5. Okay. Article 5, and that's a convention basically of the state. But it's specifically, when you do that, it specifically is focused on one thing. If people don't understand it, actually, Gary Emineth explained that really good on your talk here about, I don't know, last week, I think, when he
it was last week. Yeah.
So go grab that episode at iHeart while you're looking up Guns in the 701, because you get good information.
There you go, catching up on something.
Nice lead there, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, he thinks he can do this, and then if you do, say you can accomplish that, and you can pass this amendment that way, you have to turn around then and send it back to each state, and then you have to have 3/4 of the states. I didn't realize that either until I looked it up. It takes 3/4 of the state legislatures to ratify an actual amendment. That's the process. There's no way in hell it can happen. Not right now. They don't have it. But I wouldn't put anything past them. Like I said, well, I always say if Democrats lose, they change the rules.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Anyway, Gavin and J.B. Pritzker, they signed these laws, and they banned firearm-related advertising that could be attractive or be considered to target children. And we're going to address that here just in a few moments. National Shooting Sports Foundation filed legal challenges to both the California and Illinois laws. They violate not only the First Amendment protected right of commercial speech, but they also work to eliminate the Second Amendment from the conversation. And this is the important part with the next generation of gun owners and outdoorsmen and women. Lawmakers believe they can erase the imagery and the advertising that shows youth learning safe, responsible firearm ownership, ethical hunting traditions. The next generation will never understand the Second Amendment as their right to exercise when they become the legal age to purchase a firearm. And that's just it, guys. If you never know what your rights were, and they've been working on that in the government schools for years. It's even in Lemon, right here, Lemon, South Dakota. They have a worthless government teacher, and I don't really care who's listening and who hears this. I think Haley Strait is completely naive or dumb, one of the two, when it comes to Constitution. Because I sat there and asked her questions in a teacher-parent conference, and she couldn't answer them. She couldn't even tell me how many amendments they were right now, currently. And she's the government teacher supposedly teaching about the Constitution. I'm telling you, she even thought the Second Amendment wasn't exactly a personal right. And I said, well, then obviously, I said, you missed the Heller and the Bruin decisions, but whatever.
So going back, Clay, a little further than this, even into the 2000s, everybody remembers Obama's Attorney General Eric Holder. Democrats have been thinking about doing this for a long time. And here's a little quote from Mr. Eric Holder, the Attorney General of the United States, who is supposed to uphold the law and the Constitution and our civil rights. We need to do this every day of the week, and we just really brainwash people into thinking about guns in a vastly different way. You can look that up. There's a video of this pinhead saying this thing. And this is exactly what this is doing. They're brainwashing kids by not being able to see it, to think they don't even have a Second Amendment right to own firearms. or to carry guns or to hunt with guns, or they just want to wash guns out of people's memories, like most of these big city airheads are when it comes to your Second Amendment rights.
Oh, any rights. But yeah, Second Amendment especially, because they know right now, you and me, they can't get our generation. Those are all, or, on the right side, and those are the commies. They're set in their ways. They're not going to change their mind. Although you got the middle of the road ones, and I can honestly say I know we tweaked Jay's interest.
Yeah, on Jay for sure.
Crossing.
He even admitted as such. So
that we've taught him a lot about the Second Amendment, and so it can be done, but it's far and few between. But essentially, this whole article goes on about how the next generation of Americans, they won't learn about Second Amendment freedoms because they won't know about them. And if they don't know about them, gun control politicians, well, they're going to have an easier time getting elected, of course. They're going to appeal to that emotional state of people. And then they'll get in there and they'll start voting for these things and nobody will fight against it. You and me and how many people listen to this show, either live or on the podcast, we all fight for that right every single day. And we shouldn't have to, but if we didn't, we wouldn't have it. I mean, it's plain and simple. And that's with all our rights. If they don't teach it, then they don't anymore. To me, the best thing you can do is pull your kids out of them schools and homeschool them today. And I know that's not an option for everybody, but I'm telling you right now, where you need to get on the school boards and you need to kick the federal money out of them schools because that's where it's coming from. And this will lead into this too about federal money. Go ahead. I know you wanted to say something.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say one of the things they're targeting the youth here with in California and Illinois are advertising for youth model firearms, right? I never grew up on a youth model firearm, Clay, but I know I see a lot of them now, which is cool because I remember struggling as a young kid trying to get that stock up. You leaned way back and you couldn't quite hold it and you weren't ready for it. Because that's what parents are going to teach their kids about safety and safe gun handling with now. But you can't advertise those guns in these states because that would be, that'd be against their law here. What is the name of the stupid laws anyways? I guess I
didn't go look them up, honestly, to see what how they named them. It's probably something about gun safety for kids or something.
So I see in the comments here, Zach says, so they don't want young people to learn gun safety. They don't, Zach. They don't want you to learn gun. They say they do. They're all about safety till they're not because they don't want them teaching it in school or anything about gun because then they learn about guns and they want to wipe everything clean about guns. And when they can do that, Clay, when the people growing up, the more people they got coming up who don't know about guns, gun safety, or anything about guns, then they can we can pass gun bans easy as we want because they don't believe you got a right to them because they weren't taught it.
And I run into that now. I mean, just working with kids, having them out to our place, shooting for the first time, they are oblivious to what their rights are. I've actually had kids that have been in that 14, 15-year age bracket, that are friends with my sons. I put my suppressor on. Like, I didn't even know you could own them. I thought those were illegal.
I thought they were just for hitmen and poachers.
Yeah, they play their video games, and that's how they're portrayed there. Even
just the military can have those.
Only the military, yeah. And I explained to them that yes, you can have a suppressor. I said it's ludicrous. You have to, have a $200 tax stamp.
It is.
I tell them everything because they're at that age they can understand it. And they go, well, that's kind of dumb. I go, I agree. And boom, we have a new shooter and probably a new conservative voter, hopefully. I said, wait till you start paying taxes, kids. You'll really become conservative.
But Eric says it was monkey arms and youth guns. Eric, I agree with you. The one thing I do have is long arms, man. That was definitely to my advantage when it came to basketball and shooting guns. So, and
it is nice. And you know what? I'm going to really go on this. And this is a great point in this article. And I got to touch on that.
Go for it, Clayton.
They talked about how manufacturers now offering smaller calibers, smaller gauges. They got actual youth stocks or guns you can grow into, and they do. Well, we use several of them in the banquets where you could add onto that stock, so that the kids could grow into them, just like bows. You can grow into a bow now. They've really come a long way. Weapon of war. That's right. But here's the catch. So right now, can anybody under the age of 18 fill out a 4473 and buy a gun?
Nope.
That's right. Nope is the answer. Nobody. So when they pass these stupid things that they just did now, enhanced background checks for 18 to 21-year-olds, it's just ludicrous. I mean, that's a whole different thing. So if you're not 18 years of age in this country, you cannot fill out the 4473 and you can't take the background check. You cannot purchase a firearm. So
Mhm.
then all these youth guns are being bought by who?
Adults.
Adults, either a guardian or an instructor or the actual parent, maybe an uncle. I mean, they're all being bought by somebody to be used by the kid and basically under supervision. Let's face it, that's what they're all geared towards.
Yeah.
So just by that alone, then why on earth would they have to pass laws to restrict firearms advertising that's going to target children and youth? Because they're not geared towards them, they're geared towards the parents so that they'll go buy them for their kids. Therefore, they're going to make a lawful purchase. And that just tells you that their idea is not about, has nothing to do with gun safety, nothing at all. It has absolutely what we just hit on. It's brainwashing. It's to eliminate the idea that guns are safe, that they're common, that they're easy to use. They are for children. It's okay. It's not a bad thing. I know that some people think that's horrible, but it's okay. My kids have been shooting since they were able to really pick up a gun and shoot it properly.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of him because, like I said, I always reference Layton. He loves to shoot pistol. And he's pretty damn good at it because I taught him correctly. So I just wanted to put that out there. And then there's a few more things there. You want to add anything to that? Because I know there's one thing here about shooting sports in general.
Yeah. So they're talking here about the USA Clay Target League suspended activities in California after this banning advertising that was attractive to minors was signed into law, because with that, Clay carries a $25,000 civil penalty for any and each instance of firearm relating marketing to persons under the age of 18. So they basically shut it down in California, and hey, these clay target, these clay shooting in high schools and whatnot,
Going to be a big thing.
it's growing big here. I'll give you some numbers here for it. USA Clay Target League President John Nelson said Minnesota's statewide clay shooting competition drew nearly 8,000 student competitors from 340 teams this year. When he started in 2009, there were only 10 in that competition. So that,
and I can attest to that.
Up.
I did a little work out there in Minnesota when we didn't have a rep. So I got to meet some of these people. I tell you what, Minnesota, of all places, think about it. Minnesota was basically the example. They were the ones that led the charge to create the trap shooting leagues and get them within the high schools and get them on board. And they are the people that showed everybody else how to do it. They took that first step, and I'm telling you, it has just exploded. I know we've got them around here now, and I'm sure you guys do too.
So yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you go up north when something's going on here with that. I mean, it's crazy up there, and I love to see it. So, and I'm not even a big shotgun guy. When I was younger, I definitely was in the shotguns. But anyway, so nationwide, Clay, there's more than 1,500 teams and nearly 45,000 participants. That's according again to this USA Clay target shooting thing. But so what's really got to tick off states like Illinois and Chicago here is Arkansas's Game and Fish Commission recently announced the creation of its new shooting sports division, which elevated the shooting sports from a program to a full-blown department within that agency that will have a concentration on growing the youth shooting sports. Ooh,
boy.
Yeah, no, so you can't, stuff like that. You obviously can't even do that in Illinois, right? In California, I mean, because if you do,
not with their New Deal.
Yeah, like Zach's, is California even part of the U.S. anymore? I mean, technically, Zach, it is, but in my mind, they haven't been part of America. I mean, one of my great influences in my life is my Uncle Casey, who's dead now. He lived in California, man. I'd get reports from there, and I mean, anyway,
yeah. I always wondered what it would take to put charges all along the fault lines and just let it go into the ocean.
Yeah. Get them
I didn't say that.
Rocking, huh?
Yeah.
So, Clay, it's not the effort to erase responsible firearms ownership from the minds of our youth is getting a boost from, guess what, Clay? The federal government. The Biden administration's Department of Education stripped funding for hunter ed and archery programs after deliberately misrepresenting the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. So, hey, if you're just like, if anybody's listening to just straight archery, and hey, I tell you what, you guys, and we bang on each other a little bit on this show about it, but we're in the same boat here because they're coming for you. Like when Clay said archery earlier, that's what I said, weapon of war. I can guarantee you that they see that as a threat to people. And a lot of kids who get into archery, Clayton, I shot tons of archery when I was a kid. You get into guns too. It's just a natural progression for a lot of things here. But so anyways, this Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. And a good thing about it is a lot of people in Congress, they're pissed about it, which they should be. So governors and attorney generals, National Shooting Sports Foundation, there's House Resolution 615. A resolution has been introduced by Representative Glenn Grothman from Wisconsin, condemning the Biden administration's attack on schools that educate students on responsible firearm handling, which is great. I didn't look into that too much, Clay. We should probably, and see if somebody we're well aware of in this state is on board with it, or any neighboring states we got. I recommend this guy for doing that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I just haven't had time. I'm going to look up that resolution and see exactly who's signed on to it, because and read it first. But I know who Glenn Grotham is, and he seems like he's pretty solid for the most part. So I can't imagine that Armstrong wouldn't sign on to it, and Alfred E. Newman down there in South Dakota, Dusty Johnson. But you never know. He
does look like him, man. Clay told me, and he called me, and I laughed too. But so don't forget, I guarantee you they're trying to pass these as like some gun safety. I guarantee you they're saying gun safety about it, and they're trying to claim it's going to stop crime, but it's not. All this is doing is trying to erase the future for youth for a Second Amendment. They're trying to get rid of their rights, and the Democrat, our rights are under attack, our abortion rights, and all these other invisible rights they're talking about. But an actual civil right like the Second Amendment, they don't have any problem trying to erase it from America's youth minds.
I want to encourage you. I want to encourage everybody that's listening, and then go tell your friends and have them tell their friends. I want you to go and tell them, you know what, maybe this is okay. Let's kick the feds out. Let's start kicking federal money out of our schools. I've been saying that for decades. It has no place there, because they can, look at this. You don't do what they say, we'll just take your money away. So we have a big fund of money. It's called the Pittman Robinson money, and each game and fish department gets them in your state. Start petitioning your states. Call your state game and fish mismanagement organizations. That would be North Dakota Game and Fish and South Dakota Game and Fish Parks in the Dakotas. Get a hold of them and tell them you want to see some of that money. Let's replace that money from our taxes that were paid on hunting and fishing licenses, equipment, lures, whatever it might be, because everything gets this tax. And let's get that into those schools to keep supporting them programs. Let's kick the feds out. Let's use our own money that's already been collected, rather than, and I've never liked the fact that Game and Fish is in charge of that money, but they are right now. So call them people. Jeb Williams is the guy to get a hold of in North Dakota. I don't know who it is in South Dakota anymore, but you need to call the Game and Fish and tell them, hey, we want to see you guys take that money, and we want to budget some of that to put back into these schools to replace the money lost for these archery and shooting sports programs, because I can't think of a better way to use it. And it is one of the things they can use that money for.
Yep.
But that's how you can do it.
Without youth being into archery and hunting and guns, game and fish, you guys ain't gonna have much of a job left. So
yeah, exactly.
Oh, that'll never happen, Gene. You're not that bad. No. So we got a comment here. Our buddy Dave Fettig. You would think the government would like to see the youth develop basic shooting skills, because enlistees require less training and be more effective marksmen. I don't know, Dave. The way the people running the military are now, a lot of them, I don't even think they want people to be good. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's tons of good people in our military and signing up, but where Ron Paul said it, he thinks they're trying to like beta-ize our military.
Yeah, on purpose. They want us weak. And yeah. If I tell you what, if anybody does not realize at this point that the Democrat Party is the Communist Party, and finally I'm hearing even the mainstream, some of the people in that mainstream talk about this, then where have you been? Because that is what the Democrat Party is today. Now, you might not be one if you're part of it, but I guarantee you the National Party and those that are running it and those that they are, that's their platform. It's just like the whole pillars of Marxism. Yeah. Hey, Shiloh, good to see you here tonight. I see you tuned in. Thanks for tuning. By the way, Shiloh, I did see that you called. I was under a stack mover when you called back and left a message, but get in touch with me and we'll figure out something. Maybe this is a good subject for Here's the Deal. I know you guys cover about everything, so maybe we need to cover some of this, especially in our local schools losing their funding.
Yeah. No, Zach nailed it here in the comments. Our government doesn't want kids to learn how to protect themselves. That you're exactly right.
They don't.
Well, look at what happens when you pass stand your ground laws. The Democrats go ape-ass over it. They
It's gonna be
freaking
wild,
hate
wild west. It's gonna kill everybody.
it. Yeah. Car accidents are going to turn into big shootouts.
And now we got what, 37? Is it 37 states have some form of open constitutional carry?
And it never turns out like they claim, Clayton.
Never
Hey,
does.
Clay, you want to hit our first advertisement here, and we'll hit on the next.
And I gotta apologize. I have not been able to fix that audio. I tried today. A little bit accent.
Clayton,
We have to just do something different, probably. But here we go. Lauer Auto Repair, one of our main sponsors.
At Lauer Auto Repair. They're located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota, or give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can tackle any problem your vehicle is having, and when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with the Pro Second Amendment America First Repair Shop. There's plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area, but why take the chance of patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake, Lauer Auto is your Pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them you heard they're a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our Pro Second Amendment, Pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308, located at 309 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota.
And again, thanks to Lauer Auto Repair, Doug and the guys down there at 309 Washington Street. South Washington Street, 701-258-6308. I tell you what, they do a fantastic job. I know Leon's been in there. Brett, I mean, they've actually had several customers go in there, so I'm glad to hear that. When you go in, say you heard it right here, Guns in the 701.
Absolutely. Appreciate that, you guys. Hey, everybody, we got to rub each other's back here on being good Americans and Patriot. You can go, maybe you might have your favorite repair shop, and you go in there, and I ain't saying they're not nice people, but guess what? Behind that nice smile, it might reside a heavy Joe Biden supporter.
Oh yeah. And I'm gonna slip this in here right now, guys. If you're interested, it's the shirt I'm wearing. Here we go. I decided to take that mug shot last week. I'm taking some of these shirts with me down to the rally, and I know I'll be able to sell them in line, but making mug shots great again, the Commie Democrat campaign strategy. If you're interested, go ahead and let me know. Guns@gunsinthe701.com or text message me. We can figure out your size, and we can definitely get you one of these shirts. I sold a few this weekend even down there at the little reunion that some friends of ours are holding at our
just
cabin.
make sure you get a picture with Trump with your G&T701.
I'm going to try my best. I truly am.
Tell them, get your boy Eric Trump and Don Jr. checking it out. I know they're big gun guys. So
Shiloh had a couple things. You mean it's
legal gun
Uniparty?
Guys, not like Biden's son.
Not like Biden's son, yeah.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to
You mean it's the Uniparty? It's no longer Democrat versus Republican or good versus evil. It's about the truth, Shiloh. Really, when I look at the voting records of our so-called conservatives, for North Dakota, they vote a little bit better than most of the Democrats. They just haven't swung that pendulum all the way over yet. But one of my pastors once said it best. He goes, well, he says the Democrat Party, they're running towards socialism and communism as fast as they can go, high gear. But he says Republicans are just at a slow trot. And that statement is so true yet today. It really is. So,
yeah. I mean, I'm just going to add this in right before I move on, though. Hovind and Kramer and Armstrong all voted like mid 90% with Trump on all his deals. So
we're not lost yet here. But
I'm not saying I'm just saying we could do a lot worse. They do piss me off on a lot of their votes, but
they do. Well, you look at the we just talked about it, that Safer Communities Act, and you look how many Republicans joined.
Kramer and Hovind voted for that. See,
and we could have shut it down. It took Republican votes to pass it out of the House, and it didn't have to happen. We own the House, and it's
Armstrong did vote against that in the House.
He did. I didn't look at Dusty's vote, but
anyway.
That's how you do it. You have to hold these people responsible when they do something like that, and they vote. They vote wrong. Let them know.
I'm just going to say one more. We got a comment here. Hovind isn't to be trusted. I'm not going to disagree with you, but I just said he voted with Trump 95%. So what does that say about Trump? And Trump endorsed him. So, we got to be careful how we're saying this kind of stuff, because if you're going to just Hey,
I can tell you right now. with
Hogan's a
Hogan,
commie. Will Trump endorse the communists then? I mean, come on, guys.
I'll tell you a little bit about Hoven and his record because I that's what I do. You know me on the Guns and 701 side. I take and analyze the political part.
Yep.
So Hoven's record on the Second Amendment, it isn't stellar. I mean, it isn't 100%. It isn't like Kristi Noem's was down there in South Dakota when she was in the House of Representatives, and she's got a really good one with South Dakota as a governor. But it was pretty darn good. I mean, it was definitely better than any Democrat that North Dakota's had. That's for sure. When you look back and see who we've had, guys like Conrad and those guys.
Yeah, Joe
Heidkamp, any of them. Heidkamp went complete full freaking lib as soon as she knew she wasn't going to be elected again.
Either of them. I'm talking both of them.
Both of them, absolutely. So when you look at that on that issue, usually even on right, we don't go into the other issues here most, but right to life, things like that. Hoven's been, I mean, he's been in there in that higher percentile. Now, when you start talking about spending money, he's like a drunken Democrat that can't get enough money.
Clay, but so is Trump.
Oh, I didn't say Trump wasn't.
Spent gobs of money too, so
he did, and I was against those things.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. When who's okay? If Hoven sucks, who's going to beat Hoven? Who are we going to get to beat Hoven?
Well, I didn't say that we. I'm just pointing out to everybody. That,
I know, but my point is, if we're going to say Hoven's a rhino and a piece of crap, and he's a leftist, if he is a rhino, if he truly was a rhino, is what I'm saying is, there's no way he'd vote with Trump 95% of the time. Then
no, but I can tell you, Hoven's a rhino. His votes were maybe a little better than what he is. I can tell I've dealt with that guy. He's a rhino. He was a rhino when he was a governor.
Yeah, but how does he vote with Trump that much of a percentage then, though? Does that mean Trump's a rhino because he supported Trump's agenda?
Well, Trump had some rhino initiatives. There's no doubt about
95% though?
No, not 95%. But he liked to spend money.
All right, I know. I'm just
and that's where I put.
I'm just devil's advocating here.
I know you're
devil's advocating.
And I'm
advocating for the devil.
And I'm going to vote for Trump again because I know that he's the only guy that can do it. None of the other candidates can do it right now. Mm-hmm. They're just not going to do it. And this is the way it's going to be. He's going to be the nominee, and whether you like Trump or not, he's your nominee. And I can't. It's kind of like what you're saying. What's our option? Biden?
Right. Yeah, like Zach says here, you got to pick the best, worst person. Right. And I agree with that. That happens. Not all of them, but the vast majority of your choices are going to be that way. But,
David got a great point there.
You could clean them all out, and then within a year, the same thing's going to happen. Go ahead, Clayton.
Well, David points out, and you were at the same convention I was at. What we saw at the convention with Hoven, that was BS. It was complete bull. It wasn't all Hoven. I mean, I'm sure Hoven was right there to back it, but that was a instigated, well thought out plan to basically make sure that Hoven was the nominee and not Becker. When you stop the convention, and that was all Perry Schaefer. I think Perry Schaefer is one of the most evil people I know.
We're going to find out in next year when we go.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, ain't it?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So it'll be fun in our district to see who gets to be on that slate of people, because after we threw out the bums in District 31 for the most part, including Perry Schaefer from even having an executive seat, I'm pretty sure he's coming gunning. I have no doubt. And any of you guys in them districts, by the way, why are you so quiet? Get active again. These guys didn't quit. They probably went into overtime, and they're coming for you at the next reorg. Don't think they just went away.
Oh, I got my D35 corn and brat feed coming up here in a few weeks, so I'll talk.
Yeah.
Usually Hoven's there, so and a lot of others. I got some outdoor things I want to talk to my representative senator about. That's right. You know what I want to talk about, Clay? What's your first thing? What do you think I'm going to talk about?
Oh, I imagine the Safer Communities Act.
Yeah, that's not going to be it. I'm talking the state act to my local reps. It's going to be getting a bill in there. Guess what? You're going to have to put in for them bow tags for units, and just like you do a rifle tag. That's the first thing I'm going to talk to them about.
And I'm going to do no different with our own people here, especially with Dawson.
Yep.
I helped Dawson out a lot, so I want him to really look at this. And I wish I could have made the DA
even it out, man. You guys have been carte blanche for too long. So
Yep, absolutely. And if you
speaking
guys
of
haven't,
that,
if you don't know what we're talking about, go. We got it in a lot of the previous shows,
Yeah.
but we'll do
Yeah.
another one here. I'm
Yeah.
sure we will
And
right before.
if you're bow hunting in my rifle unit this weekend, which is 3B2, I hope you don't get anything.
And if you're
Unless
on a
you're
bow,
hunting doe, go ahead. If you're getting does, go for it.
and if you're in 3F2, don't even ask because I'm not going to let you hunt. I know what the deer
man.
are. I know the population on the place here.
We gotta tweak
we all
you
got
guys.
tags, so.
We gotta tweak you hardcore bow hunters a little bit. I bow hunt, but I'm definitely not passionate about it like rifle hunting. So anyway, Clayton. Speaking of hunting, that's what our next conversation is going to be about here.
And Eric had this question on Facebook today. I noticed.
Okay.
We didn't, or not, was it Facebook? I don't remember. Was doing so many things, talking about how we didn't do the poll. He thought the poll was going to be about this subject, and we didn't do one. So here's what we got, though. This is kind of one.
Yeah, real quick, Eric. The reason I don't do the poll every week is 1 week it was real low and nobody participated, and it pissed me off. So I do it every other week. I know Candy has a reason, but whatever.
Well, and I knew you were going to do this subject, so I figured that was part of it too.
So the poll. So the poll. The next thing we're going on here is our neck shots. Are they ethical? Is the neck shot an ethical shot on a deer with your rifle, Clay? And so the article starts out here. It's American Hunter.
Well, let's say before you go.
Yeah.
Let's have everyone chime in. Do you think that a neck shot is an ethical shot?
Yeah.
And ethical is everyone defines it differently, I guess. I myself think you can make it. I think you can make an ethical shot with a neck shot.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
I would say there is a shot in the neck, Clayton. Man, I'm just having Joe.
Too many Coors Lights there. No.
No, I have one here. But where you can hit them in the neck, and deer do have a carotid artery, Clay. It's right in the middle of their neck, and I'd say that sucker goes back about mid-jaw, straight back, and it starts curving down towards the heart. But you got right behind there, I want to guess you got about 8 inches of that carotid artery where you can pop them there. And they will bleed out quick. And I got a story about when I tried to do that. But I'm going to start off the story. I'm going to read this little paragraph here, and then we'll get into discussion about it. So it says a common item of discussion among big game hunters, especially those fairly new to the sport, is proper placement of the bullet. All of us agree that a vital area must be a target. Yes, but that includes several options. To be safe, the majority of hunters will strive to put the bullet in the chest area where it strikes one lung, preferably 2. Some intentionally shoot a bit lower to hit the heart. Some shoot higher to spine them. And then there are those who like a neck shot. And they like it for 2 reasons. First, when the spine is hit, the animal drops in its tracks, which is true. You can hit them dang near anywhere in the spine, just not in the neck. Second, which is what I hear most about, not much meat is wasted with the neck shot, Clay.
Yeah, I've heard that one too quite a bit.
And if you miss the spine,
depends on the bullet you're using,
right? Which is what's going to be part of what I'm going to tell you. If the spine is missed, you can hit the nape or scruff, the windpipe, the esophagus, or any other meaty, vital free area. In any of these instances, the quarry can survive long enough to successfully elude you or make a complete recovery. And I did have one of my buddies with the same exact bullet that I used, actually, is a 125-308 Nosler ballistic tip, which is an awesome bullet. But when it comes to neck
found
shots,
some of them again, didn't you?
Yeah. Hit it. That's exactly what he did. Muley doe was going to try to, do the meat shot and stop it. Hit it in the windpipe, and he thought he missed. And I'm like, no, you hit her low in the windpipe. I could see her just gasping.
Right.
Luckily didn't jump the fence. We walked over there and she was laying there. I don't know how the heck this deer was still alive, but it wasn't, and then finished her off. But, that's but that was a far longer shot than I had. I think that was 300. I mean,
right.
Good marksman and nothing. But, the time I tried it, Clay, was a muley buck. I do have his Euro mount in my garage. I wounded him. I wasn't sure I hit him, but I know I wounded him, and I followed him around, and I seen him get up, and I thought, I had this tree, the buffalo berries there. I'm like, he's got to be laying in here. I ranged it. It was 210 yards. And like I said, Nosler 125, 30 cal 308. And he stood up, and I could see he was kind of wobbly. So I drilled him again right in the neck, which man, that's making noise when I hit him. And then he dropped immediately, and I thought, boy, that's it for him. Got on the phone, called my dad. Dad got a buck down. Bring the unit out. Let's load him up. And was going to call my wife or one of my buds or something. Turn around, there he is standing up again. I was completely shocked. So I ended up having to smoke one, get him through the lungs again. But yeah, I went over and that bullet went in. I don't think I did hit him on the carotid where I was aiming. It was a little off, but man, it didn't go in too deep. I want to say like 2 or 3 inches because that neck's just a big solid lump
old
of
solid. Yep.
So, I mean, I think that bullet, it wasn't going super fast either. I was shot out of a 16-inch barrel, but it blew up and man, didn't kill him. And I was really disappointed. I almost felt bad. If I wound an animal like that, I feel bad because he was hit twice, But 3 times actually, because the third one I had to take to kill him, and then still got over there. He was done, whatever. But one other time, my buddy, the same guy who shot the doe in the neck, the same bullet, same rifle, he had wounded a buck, and he got up and he was about to jump the fence, and I said, shoot him right in the freaking middle of the neck about 5, and he did. He hit him right in that sucker, dropped him dead right there. Deer bled out like a son of a gun. It was a clean gut, but if you get him in the right spot, that is a great shot to hit him, I think.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There you go. This guy, the natural one, 1 inch below the ear, right on.
Yeah, and I've been kind of keeping track here. So far, we got
go for it. I was getting pretty windy there.
No, that's okay. 7 yes and 0 no. So
okay,
7 respondents. Either this way. And hey,
I'm not against the neck shot. I'm definitely not against shooting him in the neck.
I gotta let you know, Zach Meyer placed an order through our store for some guns and 701 gear. We appreciate that.
Right on, Zach. Thanks,
I just
buddy.
seen that come through in the email, so I will get that confirmed and we'll get that made for you. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate it.
Clay,
you want to get to some of these comments here?
Yeah, we'll give a few of them here. We gotta go back a ways. Hey, Shiloh's got. He goes, I have a Henry Mare's leg and a Henry axe. So I wonder if you guys want to do a video on them in the future. I think that'd be kind of fun.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Maybe we'll have to just have you come over, Shiloh.
Yeah.
Over there at Axe's Range. And
hey, you come in, Shiloh. We'll have you right in the video. You go ahead and shoot it. It's your gun. You're probably better at shooting it than we are.
David Fetting says, when facing away, I'm center neck, just above the shoulders. Otherwise, I'm center of the shoulders. Keith O'Donnell, I shot my last doe in the neck, and she dropped on the spot. I hit both arteries. Was that when you was? I don't remember if that was when you were at my
Keith?
place.
I'm curious, Keith. What'd you use, Doug? Let us know what you used on that one, Keith. Yeah. I'm curious.
Zach Meyer, neck shot is ethical. I feel one shot cap, neck shot yes, rear shoulder no. What do we got here? David Fetting, you need the 150 grain JD. More impact trauma. There you go.
Well, I did 150 grain Nosser was my favorite actually. Out of my 308, that thing was the biggest buck I ever shot, and I shot a couple deer with that thing. It was a 150 grain Nosser ballistic tip, freaking unbelievable bullet. I love Nosser bullets. Like I said, I just hit some meat there, and
Natural one says 1 inch below the ear.
Yep. Yeah.
Hey, I can tell you this: when I'm shooting the doe, I like to take a pumpkin shot, shoot him in the head, don't wreck no meat, and it's done. It's a pretty clean shot. I generally am using my 270. I've started shooting my 7mm08 a lot more. I really enjoy that rifle as well. So that's my two go-tos.
Yeah, those are awesome, actually.
Kind
of a forgotten cartridge there. I don't know why. That thing's
I don't either. I
love
that cartridge.
There you go. All right, Keith said, thanks, Keith. He said he used a 308 165 grain.
That was on my place.
Right through. Okay.
If you get a 3F too, now Keith's allowed to come here. Keith's been a long time friend of mine. So if you get some Keith, we got some does around, honestly. Got a group of mule deer again. Whitetails are still coming back, but there's a few does around. So yeah, we could definitely put you on some deer here, Keith, if you get it. Hey, I like what Pax said. 50 BMG neck shot.
Yeah, that's what I was laughing at. Yeah.
By the way, guys, you can use a 50 BMG this year. So we're going to make that happen. I plan to do that with my own gratis tag. I haven't seen any bucks I'm really going to be going after. So I think Eric's going to come down or come up here, and we're going to try to do one with the doe and just show people that it's not going to wreck and explode the deer.
That carotid with that thing.
Yeah.
So, Gene, you got here late. If you just missed what we're talking about, if neck shots are ethical on deer, we got what was it, Clay? The quick pull 7-0, yes,
7-0 right now. Yep. Let's
okay.
see. Natural one. He goes, the meat is what it's all about, and I do. I love the meat too. Gene's got a 7M or 708.
Man, that's 7M08. There's a lot of people shooting that, I guess. Okay.
I knew Eric's wife did. He said,
I'm
my
a
wife
fan.
shot 2 deer, one shot with her 7M08, both neck shots, had to do a follow-up shot on the buck. Yeah, I love that round. I don't know why that round was kind of, nobody used it anymore, but it seems like it's coming back.
If anybody doesn't know, it's a 308 cartridge casing, neck down to 7mm. So, yeah.
Way flatter, I think, than the 308. 308, don't get me wrong.
Ricky and Marty. He prefers a neck shot right above their body armor. That Kevlar vest Joe talks about.
You don't need body armor. You need an F-16.
That's why you need 30 rounds, like Joe says you don't need, Marty.
Goodness.
Just keep shooting around it till you hit it.
I gotta love it, Marty. Yes. So
yeah.
Let's see. David's got nozzlers are my go-to for hunting and plinking, but my choice for match is Sierra. You don't need a yellow box to be successful. And I know what he's talking about. He went reload, knows what he's saying there.
So even for my favorite 223 round is actually Nosler 55 grain too. So that's a ballistic tip.
I have shot a ton of Sierra bullets. I really have, just my general hunting rounds. They're way cheaper than a lot of bullets, and they do the job. And I've never really had any issues with them. Now,
nothing. I love Sierra.
When David says that, I mean, he's right. I've shot about everything, but I've got a lot of Sierra bullets sitting on the shelf there. So they're good rounds.
If I turn this camera around, you'd see a pile of green Sierra boxes that I've loaded up in my.
Well, if I turn my camera around, then you see the other guns.
All right, Clay, should we do we'll do a
double
ad here? And if anybody's got anything to add when we come back, put it in the comments and we'll hit it. And then we're going to go on to our 2A bullet points.
At Lauer Auto Repair. They're located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota, or give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can tackle any problem your vehicle is having, and when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with the Pro Second Amendment America First Repair Shop. There's plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area, but why take the chance of patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake, Lauer Auto is your Pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them you heard they're a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our Pro Second Amendment, Pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308, located at 309 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota.
Guns and the 701 is sponsored by The Blind Guy of North Dakota. For all your custom window coverings, you can contact them at 701-222-3932. They're freedom-minded, they're patriotic, and they love the Second Amendment. This husband-wife team was born and raised right here in North Dakota and based out of Bismarck. Again, for your Second Amendment company, for all your custom window coverings, The Blind Guy of North Dakota, 701-222-3932, or visit them on the web at blindguynd.com.
All right. Again, thanks to our sponsors. And by the way, everybody, we're going to be actually actively going out and looking for some more sponsors. We haven't done a lot of that, but we're going to try to start making some changes here. It's kind of another reason we're giving up one of the shows, because we need a little more time to go out there and actively build this show. We've done pretty good, but we can always do more. So if you guys are interested, any of our listeners are interested, we definitely have different rates, and we can make it fit about anybody, I think.
Or if you know anybody, the business is interested. And by speaking of that, Clay, I think we got a gun show we need to promote here.
We do. I was thinking the same thing. Mr. Gene Cox there is going to be putting one up here in Mobridge, South Dakota, September 9th and 10th. It's going to be right downtown there at the Event Center in Mobridge on Main Street. If you haven't been to Mobridge, trust me, it's pretty easy to find Main Street. If you need more contact info or more info, contact Gene Cox, 605-848-2427. Again, especially for our podcast listeners, 605-848-2427. 2427. $10 to get in. There's over 100 tables. It's their first show in Mobridge. So I'm really glad to see Gene doing this. I've been a life member of Dakota Territory Gun Collectors Association for many, many years. So they do a great job, and I know Gene will do just as good a job with his first show. So go over there and support it, guys.
Yep. Awesome. Yep. So we got a few more comments here, Clay, and then we'll go on. We got Eric says Barnes is what he uses for hunting big game. He wouldn't use anything else unless he has to. And Dave Fettig, kick it old school. Eric, spear, ground slams. Yeah, nothing wrong with spear.
I've used a lot of spear bullets too.
Yep. Natural one. He says he likes the 708 Model 7 or 308 Model 7. Nothing wrong with that. I love 308. It's just I keep downgrading in caliber. Clay, I was thinking about that, because now I'm going from a 6.5 Creed, down to Zech Spitz of Flint Grendel. So listen to this, Clay. Our bow hunting brothers will like this one. Now, Clayton, I have to get closer to the game. I have to be more of a hunter to get closer to make it more sporting and fair. So I'm actually downgrading in caliber, and my hunting skill level is rising.
Yeah, and you're a real hunter now.
Yeah.
In the rifle world. And I was watching your video there. Man, that thing isn't moving very fast out there.
No.
Is it? I remember you shot that, and I was like, I almost could have probably stopped and listened for it.
Yeah, Axe shot it at 440. Like, we didn't video it, and just in my head, I was counting 1,000. It took almost a second to go 440. But to his credit, man, he Axe dropped that thing like a half inch off the bullseye. It was awesome. I loved it.
No, it's a good. You know what? The Grendel, another gun or another round a lot of people don't shoot. Yeah. It seems like it's making a comeback.
Man, it's like a kitten too. The recoil of my suppressor.
Would you compare it to a 243?
Oh no, way less recoil.
Way less.
Okay. That's why people say that to me about like getting kids, and I've recommended a Grendel for years for that.
Like I say, that might be a good gun for kids. And I don't know a lot about the Grendel. I just know that we've used it before.
It's like the 220 Russian case kind of what that takes to sit, but it's I got the 16-inch barrel. If you get like a Ruger American or something, or the Predator, and with a 22-inch, I mean, you're going to gain a lot more velocity. Like I said, Clay, I'm going to keep it. At 400 yards, it's still just under 1,000 foot-pounds. It's probably going to be about 850 foot-pounds, which I'm safe with doing on a good shot, but I don't want to go over 300. You're still at 1,000 foot-pounds energy. So
yeah, I was watching that going, wow, there's a lot of time in between.
Yeah, I mean, at 300, when I hit that jug, I mean, and I pretty much squared that thing up. That sucker flew pretty good. The one at 440, I did catch it on the top right a little bit, so. And I'm going to try some reloading, but I do have a lot of the Hornady 123 SSTs. Right. And I mean, I'll let you. Hey, hopefully you guys get to see a video of me shooting a muley buck with it, because I can tell you this, very confident in where I'm going to put that bullet.
This year's going to be a little different. I plan to get up there with you guys when you're pheasant hunting. Maybe bring the camera, and I wouldn't mind getting up there when you're doing some deer hunting. I want to try and get up there and do a little more.
Yeah, bird hunting's going to be fun too. I was talking to JR about that today, and JR's lifelong buddy of mine too. So
I'm not gonna lie, Jamie, I'm looking forward to that. I have no birds down here as far as pheasants, so if I very much appreciate you letting me coming up there, because it's been many years.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be fun.
So David says, I think the reason the 7mm08 is struggling or was skipped was because the 284 Winchester is similar in recoil and only 100 to 200 feet slower than the 7 Remington. Can't talk either. 7mm Remington mag. Come on, man. Yeah, the 284 is prime, and you know what? I kind of forgot about the 284. That's another great round, just like 264 win. I mean, we've got a 264 here with my father-in-law's. I love that gun, and I just don't shoot it. I don't know why. Probably because I have a 270.
Yeah, man, I'm not gonna talk anybody away from a 270. If you can shoot one gun, and the 270 is badass.
I love my 270.
It's like a mini mag, really. So
first rifle I ever bought on my own when I first was able to buy my own gun was the Winchester Model 70. Came out with the brand new claw extraction again from like what they had on the pre-64s. And that thing's been awesome. Chambered in a 270. I love that. Yep.
All right, Clay, you want to go first on two AVPs, or you want me to? You go first.
I'll do one. I got a couple here tonight if we want to do them.
You bet.
My first one has to do with the teacher union commies. That's what I call them. as we saw, and in this story don't have nothing to do with it, but I don't know if you caught that Colorado story where that kid had the patch on his bag and they were going to
Yep.
kick him out of school.
I didn't read all of it. I did see you send it
I
to
was
me.
glad to
lost
see that their board took over and said, no, this is ridiculous and the kid can wear it now. So maybe we'll do
Really?
something on. They did.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm impressed.
But here's the problem. You fire that teacher. She obviously had no idea what that Gadsden flag was about. She thought it was about slavery and it was offensive. And she thought it
At
was
least
okay.
suspend her.
Well, at least suspend her. Do something. I bet you she's always had them thoughts. Of course, I fire people at a whim. It doesn't even bother
That's
me.
some Trump
So,
stuff.
Yeah, damn right. I fire people. I love saying you're fired. and maybe I'm a hard ass, but I have fired so many people in my life when they don't do their job. Don't care. Do your job and do it right. Anyway, so 3 officials with the American Federation of Teachers, or the teacher union commies, as I call them, and their president, they got involved in. Do you remember that little thing that happened in Florida at the Dollar General?
Mm-hmm.
We had that little shooting down there. And they're saying it was racially motivated. I have no doubt it was, looking at some of the things that they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But they had to go stick their freaking little nose into this, which had nothing to do with education. I don't know why the Teachers Association or the Federation of Teachers is even having anything to do with this, but they thought they needed to stick their nose in this. But Sheriff T.K. Waters, well, he's kind of a patriotic individual. After I've seen what his comments were.
Yeah.
Pretty good sheriff down there. He said he dismantled the narrative that guns are to blame for the tragedy during his press
Clayton,
conference.
this kind of plays into the story too. Sheriff T.K. Waters is not a white guy, is he?
No, he's not.
Okay.
No, he's not.
Yep.
He would be considered a minority in our country.
Yep.
So, yeah,
Great American in my mind.
And he did. He came out about 13 minutes into the press briefing and basically said that it wasn't the guns. It had nothing to do with the tragedy. It's the person, essentially. They were in, of course, a stark contrast of what the American Federation Teachers Association was saying. They were in there, basically, they released their statement, and they basically were blaming Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who, guys, as a governor, that man's been really good down there. I've got nothing bad to say about Governor DeSantis, and I am not going to use the term that Trump uses for him. That's just stupid.
Sanctimonious.
Yeah.
I'll do it for you.
I'm a
DeSantis guy, and I can still say it's funny, man. It's funny.
It is funny, but it's just kind of stupid. But I guess anyway. And Governor DeSantis, he signed earlier this year the new law that allows for permitless carry. We were just talking about that, basically constitutional carry in Florida. And he says it's just one of a slew of policies taking the state in the wrong direction. That's what their official comment was from the American Federation of Teachers. Okay. Sheriff Waters, then he snapped right back and he goes, how come the story is always about guns? It's the people that are bad, not the gun. The guy's a bad guy, he continued. If I could take my gun right off right now and lay it on this counter, nothing will happen. It'll just sit there. Perfect. But as soon as a wicked person grabs a hold of that handgun and starts shooting people with it, there's a problem. The problem is the individual. I just love the way he put that.
That's awesome, man.
I'll just take my gun and lay it right there. It
sounds like a constitutional sheriff is what he sounds like.
And everything I looked up on him, he sure seems that way. He seems like he's a lot like Corey Lee over there in Stark County.
So Clay, just real quick before you go on, what I'd say is what he's saying there. They're blaming Ron DeSantis, right? They're trying to say this constitutional. Do you think a guy who painted swastikas on his gun, had a big rambling manifesto about how he hates black people, and do you think he gives one damn bit about constitutional carry? The guy just committed mass murder. Does he? Oh man, if DeSantis wouldn't have passed his constitutional carry, but by the way, he came in with a rifle anyways.
I'm pretty sure he was just waiting for DeSantis to sign that, before he went carried things out. I mean, you just know these guys are waiting, right?
Yeah.
Guys, for those of you can't see my expressions on the podcast, that's very it's a sarcastic and rhetorical question. But yeah, I mean, that to even make a statement like that, that's how dumb these people are. And I'm going to call them dumb. They can be very intelligent.
And they do it all the time.
They're dumb, and they do it all. It's about the narrative. And they're right away, they're going to blame something that would have done nothing to stop what happened. This guy, and then he killed himself. So He had no intention of living through this. He was going to do as much and inflict as much damage and terror as he could, and he did. You're not going to stop. I don't care what gun law you make. You're not going to stop these people. They don't care about your law. Anyway.
Yeah. So, Clay, my
ahead.
bullet point's going to go. I'm going to go right in off of what you got going here, unless you're going to add something to this.
Yeah, I'm just going to add a couple of things
Go
here.
for it, buddy.
You know, the AFT, which is the Commie Teacher Union.
The Joe calls ATF.
Yeah,
AFT.
there you go. They basically said, "Oh, if we keep doing the same thing, expecting different results, then you know the whole thing about that, their whole narrative. I don't want to read it all because I don't want to give them a lot of credit. But and then I kind of looked up these people on there, looking at their names. I don't know. I mean, I guess they're Americans. They don't look very American. They don't have very American names. A couple of them. That one guy. When reading his background, I think he actually immigrated here from, it sounded like Cuba, but I'm not sure. You'd think he'd know better. He lived under communist rule, but, I guess he's a leftist. So,
That was great, I guess. So he loved it so much he came here.
I guess. There's one more thing that Sheriff Waters said. He goes, the guns were legally purchased and the retailers who sold them did everything required by law. He says, now, guns are a tool that people use to do horrible things, the sheriff stressed. But it's the individuals that wield these things and are responsible. He says the takeaway from this whole thing is that everything was done correctly. The background checks were run. There was nothing in this guy's background that would have prevented him. There wasn't a law that was passed or could be passed that would have prevented it. And he basically, and again, laid it back on. It's the individual. And you can't stop an evil person. I mean, that was his whole narrative. So I'm glad to see that we have a constitutional sheriff down there and he gets it. So
yeah, that's awesome.
That's about all I have on that one.
Which Sheriff TK is going to be in my 2A bullet points. And if anybody doesn't know, and Clay and I do our 2A bullet points, we don't tell each other what we're going to do here. So mine is, guess what, Clay, on the same thing you're talking about here, these shootings in Jacksonville. Oh, Cacklebox Kamala heels high. VP Kamala Harris reacted to Sunday shooting by pushing gun control, Clay. That would not have prevented these attacks.
You know what Kamala is? Just 1 minute here.
Nasty person.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Thank you for that, President Trump. Harris released a statement Sunday noting the shooting was racially motivated. Of course she did.
Oh, of course.
Of course she did. But guess what, Clay? They found that manifesto right away, right? But the Tennessee shooter
still haven't seen it, have we?
Was political racism motivated. We don't have that manifesto yet.
No, we don't. Must not be fitting the narrative.
Which killed more people than this one did even. Anyways, she goes on, will be investigated as a possible hate crime and an act of domestic violence extremism. So again, Clayton, the guy committed mass murder. He was a racist. He was a lover of the Nazis. Do you think he gave a damn about hate crime and domestic violence extreme? He doesn't care about it. How was that domestic violence extremism anyways?
And he's dead.
Right.
Well, I mean, you can investigate it however you want, but the simple fact is you had an evil person with evil thoughts, killed people, and he's now dead. So what is there to investigate?
Yeah, and hate crime, do you think if somebody was alive and they're like, and let's just say somebody who didn't hate black people shot him, you think they'd be laying there knowing they're dying going, man, at least somebody didn't hate me, killed me.
I hate that.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter, you leftist fool. God, these leftists.
Isn't every crime like that? Isn't that a hate crime? I mean, you obviously have hate in your heart, or you couldn't.
Yeah. If you're not, you're just a. Yeah. I mean, yeah. You're a sick.
Whether
individual.
It's black, white, Mexican, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Who you kill, you have hate in your heart. I mean, that's just there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. If you're a stone cold killer.
Yeah, a mass shooter. These mass people who commit these they hate everybody.
They hate everybody and everything, and everyone's against them. And
they're already dead. No, that's a hate crime. Yeah, I'm sure they care. They're dead. So, anyways, she closed her statement by saying, "Every person in every community in America should have the freedom to live safe from gun violence." Yeah, you should. You should also have the freedom to live free from somebody running you over on the sidewalk.
Yeah,
by some insane son of a bitch. But guess what? That's happened a lot too. And I don't hear you talking about banning SUVs, Kamal. I'm sure you do. We could not for different reasons because
they're
you
killing
think
the
they use
climate.
too much gas, except for when you drive them around Cacklebox. And Congress must help secure the freedom by banning, oh God, Clay, here we go, assault weapons and passing other common sense gun safety. So just let me expand on that a little bit. You can ban assault weapons, and that's just the beginning. That's the tip of the iceberg for these leftist freaks.
Yeah, and
these
what's an
Amendment
assault
losers.
weapon, right?
Yeah.
You know?
And of course it goes on. And TK, I was waiting to see if this is a little different thing. He also said, Clay, Sheriff TK Waters pointed out the shooter was armed with 2 guns, a Glock and an AR.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yep. And like you said, he says if the rifle had been denied him, which he had recently purchased apparently and used, he still had the pistol and the attack wouldn't have been hindered. He'd have done the same thing. Because if you saw what this guy did, it was close range. Stevie Wonder could have shot him at that range. If you don't know Stevie Wonder, he's a blind singer. I don't even know if he's alive anymore.
I don't either. Look him up on YouTube, millennials.
Yeah, and again, he goes on here to say what you did, Clay. Another piece of, and he quotes common sense gun legislation the Democrats are pushing. He said it wouldn't have done anything. He just still bought his guns legally. Yep. Moreover, Florida has a red flag law, which is often another one of the Democrats, it's right on the tip of the Statue of Liberty. They want the red flag laws. That wouldn't prevent anything either, because like you said, Clay, and he read, there's no criminal history for this guy. He never no arrest history. There's nothing they could have done to stop this guy. No matter what kind of background check he did, there was nothing in this guy's history.
Nothing. Hey, Travis, welcome back. We ain't seen you for a while.
Whoa! Comes in throwing, hey, ours are lame. Oh, my God. Look at the commie rifle lover. Come on, Trav. Come on, man. All right, Clay. We're done with that one. You got another one. You hit it. I got one.
Yeah, I'm going to go
too.
quick with this one because I'd like to actually we're trying to keep this a little shorter, but hey, I guess if people stick around.
It's going to go an hour and 40.
So we did In the Crosshairs, and we talked about Gabriel Cowan Metcalf. He was arrested for violating the school. Well, I'll just tell you what it is. A federal law. It's the school safety law is what it is.
Thanks,
and
Trav.
he was, what's that?
I just said thanks, Travis.
Yeah. Gun-free zones, and he was arrested for that in Billings. Said it was a violation because he was 1,000 feet within the school, even though it's his own personal property. Well, I have a follow-up to that. I thought I'd hit on that.
Okay, sweet, yeah.
Of course, Wednesday, August 23rd, he was arrested at his home. The agents from the ATF arrested him. Now, you'll love this. They arrested him, but the Billings Police Department had actually been in contact with him, and I'm going to read this. We have been in contact with him on multiple occasions, and currently he is refusing to stop displaying his firearms while on his property, said Police Lieutenant Matt Lennox. At this time, though, he has done nothing wrong, nothing illegal, and we don't have no authority to arrest him. We've asked him not to display them, but it's his property. He may do that. And we cannot take his firearms or force him to stop coming out onto his yard. So the first story when we was on in the Crosshairs, we were under the assumption he might have been on the sidewalk. We didn't know for sure, but they made it sound like he was in a public space. He was not. It goes on. Do you know what he was doing? He had problems with a neighbor, and he felt threatened. Evidently, his mother lives with him. He has a scabbard mounted on his lawnmower. He has a shotgun in it. And that's what it was. That is what they arrested him for.
That's what they really?
Yes. You'll love this. He had a 20 gauge Rossi single shot break action shotgun.
Sweet.
In a scabbard.
Sweet shotties, man.
Yeah. On his lawnmower when the search warrant was executed during his arrest. The warrant shows that the agents also seized 6 rounds of ammunition and his phone. It's like, really?
6 rounds? Ooh. Hey, that's underneath. Joe said 7. Well, I guess 6 rounds is 4 more than he's.
Well, what I really love about this is because on Monday when we talked about that, basically, you had the National Shooting Sports Foundation. There were several or other organizations that were talking about this exact thing and how this guy's case is perfect to now challenge the gun-free zone, the federal law on the gun-free zones. Yeah. I have a feeling this baby's going to court, and they're going to take it all the way to the Supreme Court. And I guarantee you, with the last 2 decisions, and it's going to go back to Bruin, that there's a historical use for this.
Oh, for sure.
And it's, they're going to overturn it, which I've never believed in the gun-free zone anyway. another knee-jerk reaction in the 90s by Clinton when Columbine happened. But
Yeah.
anyway, Metcalf, he does not have any mental problems. He does not use drugs. He's never been arrested. And he believes he's been protecting himself and his loved ones. This is the statement from the cops. He has also stated he is not a danger to other people or to children in the school. The Billings police did not attempt to have him evaluated for any mental condition, as seeing no reason to do so. That was their official statement.
Clay.
So, yeah.
He does have mental problems. He's got a scabbard on his freaking lawnmower, man.
That's horrible. I'm thinking I had to mount a gun rack on my mower now.
So I think the guy's awesome for doing that.
But he won't be released from jail. The defendant's now still locked up until his trial is over. The judge, Magistrate Judge Timothy J. Evans, must be a commie. He granted an order of detention for Gabriel Metcalf. The reason checked on the order of detention pending trial was this: history of violence or use of weapons. Really? No violence. Yeah.
But I bet you any money, Clay, the same judge, if he'd have freaking raped a little boy in the rear end, he'd have let him out of the $100 bond. I guarantee this judge is
probably just a personal recognizance. Just come back to court. But anyway, he cites that as the reason for his pre-trial detention. The defendant believes this is the statement from the judge. The defendant believes he has a right to keep and bear arms, and the federal gun-free school zone act is unconstitutional.
The judge said that?
Yep. And in his in his order of detention pending the trial and in the actual written testimony here, basically what he says is that this judge says that we cannot find that he can be released because he is a danger, because he's going to go do it again, and he's going to basically disregard everything that's happened.
Do what, though? He didn't do anything.
Didn't do nothing. But see, this is what they do.
Yeah.
They make a law. They apply it in however they see, which is the gun-free zone, even though he was on his mower in his yard on his own property, which they are exempt.
I mean, these gun rights organizations got to get on, unless this guy's got like some weird manifesto. But I mean, it sounds like he's doing whatever he wants.
Yeah,
I mean, not everyone. He is doing what he wants, but he's doing what he's legally able to do.
I'm reading the order of detention here right now, and here it says, given the defendant's belief that he has a right to possess a firearm within a school zone, and his belief that possession of a gun is necessary for his protection and safety, the court finds it is unlikely that he would abide by any condition prohibiting him from possessing a firearm while on pre-trial release. Therefore, there are no conditions or combinations of conditions which can be imposed to reasonable assurance and safety of any other person of the community if released. Are you flipping kidding me? So, he's guilty in the judge's eyes of something he hasn't committed, no matter what.
He's guilty of doing something the judge doesn't like. That's what he's guilty.
Right.
And like
that's
Travis
why
said
I
in
wanted
the comments earlier, there's no accountability. Trav, there's only accountability where there's no accountability to be had with right wingers. If this guy was a leftist, like I said, the judge would have let him right off. He'd be out.
I like how they point out that this actually it goes far beyond, say, a huge bail price, because he doesn't even get one.
Yeah.
And it precludes even when Kyle Rittenhouse killed the two people in his defense and wounded another in self-defense. It had been set at $2 million, but at least he got bail, even though it was crazy. They're not even granting him bail to be let loose. I mean,
I get a text here from the blind guy, Clay.
Yes.
He says, who doesn't have a scabbard on their mower?
Yeah, there you go. I love it. Nice job.
Why'd you get some of these comments here, Clay? We got some good comments here.
I just thought everybody would want to have a little bit of an update on that. And I'll be watching this one. Yeah. I want to see where this goes. I would imagine this one's going to work its way up the chain.
Mean, if the guy's got nothing on his record, they're definitely violating his rights here, Clay. So, you want to hit some of these comments?
Go ahead. You're probably caught up more than I am.
Let me, I don't know if I'm caught up here. Let me get, hold on. I went too far.
Travis says, good job, fellas. I got AKs for life, Zach.
Yep, Zach and Traver, definitely AK guy. I just say to these two guys, I mean, obviously you guys like bullet hoses, because if you ever want to go varmint shooting, and we got plenty of videos up on our Facebook and YouTube channels, you ain't doing that with no Russian-made Kalashnikov bullet
Right.
holes. But
Travis said a great thing. The problem with today is there's no consequences or
yeah, that's what I was
accountability,
saying
and that's
earlier.
very true. They're
Yeah. I mean, especially for leftists, the judges love to let them guys off the hook for doing.
oh, absolutely. Let's see. What did David? Paul Bunyan wrote a Blue Ox. Bet he would have a scabbard on it. Why not a more?
Guaranteed, Dave. Guaranteed he would.
Eric says, sue the commie judge. And
Yeah.
I don't know if that's one that's appointed or is elected at this level.
Well, the governor if the governor appoints him, Clay, can they toss him off too?
You know, I don't know. I can be honest.
Because Gianforte is the governor of Montana, right?
Yeah, I know you can impeach a judge. A judge can be impeached if they're elected.
Their House and Senate they're definitely controlled by Republicans there, and I know they're more conservative than our Republican controlled. So if they can do anything, they should get this judge. Like I said, unless something comes out about this guy that I don't know, but if there's nothing on his record, I don't know what the hell you're going to do.
Well, and I think that's why this case is prime for. They're talking, you know, like when we covered this on Monday. Mm-hmm. I forget who it was, but I got
Jay
the
Dillon.
Jay. I was looking for the group that was going to do it. I think it's the Second Amendment Second Amendment Foundation, Gun Owners of America, National Shooting Sports Foundation. So they're all going to get involved. Anyway, Eric says he's got his pistol on him when he's mowing. He said, better watch out.
Yeah, Trav keeps his 1911 with, and he's got a full automatic Hawkins muzzle. I know Trav. I have seen Trav's Hawkins muzzle loader. I don't think it's full auto unless he did something to it. But
Zach says you only have the right, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness if you're a libtard. You know, it's getting to be that way. Whatever the liberals want.
Yeah. That's what I was saying, Clay. If your judges let these leftists off, and if you're a right winger, they freaking throw the book at you.
Zach tells Eric, if you don't stay strapped, you get clapped.
All right, Clay. I'm gonna do my last 2A BP, and then we're gonna have Clay's.
Let's do one quick ad.
All right. Yep. Hit it, buddy.
You must not see him over there tonight, huh? Here with the.
At Lauer Auto Repair. They're located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota, or give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can tackle any problem your vehicle is having, and when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with the Pro Second Amendment America First Repair Shop. There's plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area, but why take the chance of patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake, Lauer Auto is your Pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them you heard they're a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our Pro Second Amendment, Pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308, located at 309 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota.
Absolutely. Great patriotic company right there. I'm on, ain't I?
Trav cleared that up why he's got a full auto. He said he's got a slide fire on his muzzle loader.
You're supposed to cut that in half, you know. Anyway.
Fish it up.
Again, thanks to Lauer Auto Repair. Again, 309 South Washington Street. You can contact them, 701-258-6308. Again, 701-258-6308. Tell them you heard it right here on Guns in the 701.
I'd also say if you're bow hunting this weekend and you're blind and you can't get that sun out of your eyes, the blind guy he'll come out. Him and the wife will come out and put some blinds up in your hunting blind, your hunting shack.
There
you just
you
get a
go.
hold of them there, and blind guy ND. Tommy will come out and measure, and White'll fit them in there for you.
They can prove that they love the Second Amendment too.
Yeah, they like weapons of war. See, both.
Yeah.
All right, Clay. I'm gonna hit this, and then you're gonna do. What do you got? You got Clay's commie? No,
I
company.
got Patriot Company of the Week.
Yep, Clay's got the Patriot Company, and I'm gonna have the happy ending, and then we'll get out of your guys' hair. Appreciate everybody hanging with us here. Like I said, this usually goes an hour and 40. So, all right, Clay. So I'm gonna go through this. On the way through, some people are gonna be like, "What does this have to do with guns or the 701, JD?" And I'll tell you when I'm done. But so this comes out of Outdoor Life, Clay. Officials are warning hikers at a popular camping and recreation area north of Provo, Utah, to keep their pets on leashes after mountain goats have killed multiple dogs by goring them and shoving them off cliffs.
I shouldn't be laughing, but that's funny.
The most recent, and Clay owns dogs, so
Yes.
the most recent dog conflict occurred on August 19th, and this is Tapanagos Point or something like that. An off-leash dog is reportedly agitating a female mountain goat with young. The nanny defended her young kid. That's what young goats are called, kids.
Yep.
By pushing the dog off the cliff. The dog obviously died from the fall. Whitney Albee from Manti, Utah said the mountain goats are everywhere and they're not afraid to get close. We thought we would see them up on the mountain range at more of a distance, but we had no idea they'd be right on the trail staring at us just a few feet off. We were warned that 2 dogs had been killed within the last 2 weeks. One was pushed off the cliff. The other one was gored. So again, we were told to keep our dogs on the leash the whole time, which if somebody told me that, and I love my dog, that's probably what I do. You know, dogs like to get them to see a wild animal. They're going to get over there and sniff at it. But so mountain goats in the area are usually calm and unaggressive. But so this is the part I don't get. Apparently, they say they're protecting their young during this time of year. So like every other year at this time when people were there, they weren't having young, and this is a different year or what? That
I don't know.
I mean, this is weird. And but yeah, they're taking dogs out and they're telling people to keep them leashed up. And then they got another story actually in 2010. Clay, I didn't even know this about goats, that they were this, aggressive with each other. Hiker Robert Boardman was killed by a goat in Olympic Park. Boardman and his companions took a break for lunch when they were approached by a mountain goat. Boardman attempted to scare the goat off, but it charged him, gored him in the leg.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, got him in his, I don't know, what do they call the leg, that artery inside your leg there?
I
Got
don't
him
even
with
know.
that, and then his buddies. So the goat stood over this guy and prevented his buddies. Every time they tried to come, he'd get aggressive. I'm not gonna lie to you, Clay. If you were bleeding out and the goat was standing, I'd go in there and I'd take it on.
Oh yeah.
These guys, but his 2 beta boys just stood there and watched this poor dude bleed out, and he died.
Probably filmed it
And
too.
this one too kind of shocked me. More recently here, a mountain goat killed a grizzly in British Columbia's Yoho National Park. Grizzlies usually have their way with the goats and feed on them, but I guess this goat turned the tables here. Got its antlers or horns, whatever. What do goats have? Horns, I think, right? Because they don't
They're
shed
little
them.
horns about yay big.
Yeah, got into this grizzly and bled it out. So the reason I'm saying this, you can carry a gun in a national park now. And if I did, and I was concerned about my safety, which would be number 1, and my pet's number 2, I would definitely be having some kind of short-barreled shotty or some kind of handgun. And if a goat came tearing in and was going to shove my freaking dog off a cliff, I'd mag dump that sucker.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
But none of these people that wasn't even brought up in the story or none of that stuff. They don't. Wow, we can't have that.
Can't have that, huh?
Yeah. So, Clay, that's my second 2A bullet point there. If you're going hiking in Utah or any mountains, now watch out. See the mountain goats, steer clear, especially if you got your dog. If you got one of them little leashes, you let it out, keep that sucker tight.
No kidding.
If your buddy gets gored and he's bleeding out, grab onto the antlers and snap its neck, steer wrestle that thing.
Kill that baby. You know what? Do like Eric did with hogs. Just stab that thing right there and jump on it and stab it.
Right. That sounds like something Travis might want to do.
I'm doing that this next trip when we go down. So Axe is going with us, so he might get to have some fun too. Maybe we get Axe to.
All right, Gene says they're horns. That's all right. Thanks, Gene. Yep. That's a femoral artery. Yes, Eric. Thank you. That's what the leg is. Yep,
there you go.
Exactly. Femoral.
It bleeds a lot.
Yeah.
David Fetting. People are just stupid. Goats are fine. So Eric asks, is the blind guy going to bring some corn out when he comes to put those blinds in?
Well, it's going to cost you extra.
That's extra.
Because I did see a bushel of corn on the cob at Runnings last fall. That was last fall, so inflation's even higher thanks to Joe. It was like $20.
Okay, yeah.
So,
I got corn in here in the bins. So I'm good. But,
yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I'm going to go and move on then to, and this one might surprise some people. It's not people actually. Some of them might know from when we did North Dakota lockout, but here is my.
Okay, Clay, just one quick one for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Blind guy said he says I got corn on the cob ready for the deer stand. So.
There we go. There we go.
All right, go ahead, buddy.
Here's our patriotic company coming up. All right,
Beautiful.
guys. I love hearing the national anthem, and if they want to ding us for it, let them. So, my patriotic company or Patriot company of the week is someone I've done business with. Actually, back in 2019 when I discovered him, found out he's veteran owned, everything's made in the USA.
Mhm.
Give us one
Oh,
hell
I
of a
see what you
price
mean.
versus everybody else, and kind of got to know the gentleman. And I can tell you, this Marine, that guy, he is one of us. So my patriotic company is dun, 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 Minuteman Signs Inc. There's their website. That's their facility. So I made them up a little deal here.
Nice. That's a sweet
Um,
place.
Oh, I'll tell you, that's a pretty cool little place. He's down there in North Carolina, guys.
Mhm.
So I keep telling him he's got to move up here, and he goes, I want to so bad. He said, I can't. I don't think I can get my wife to move. He said,
No,
could be.
hey, they've been overriding good old Roy Cooper, Democrat Governor Roy Cooper stuff, and
They
they got
have.
their House and Senate in the right hands now. So
Yes, and that's been a big thing. He said it was pretty bad there. So
mhm.
MinutemanSignsInc.com. Again, MinutemanSignsInc.com. That's the place you want to go and check them out. You can email them at signs@MinutemanSignsInc.com, or you can call them at 828-550-7643. Again, 828-550-7643. And the guy's name is James Gamble. When you call that number, you're going to get a hold of the owner generally most of the time. That's what's so cool about it.
Awesome.
I mean, he's a small company. He makes great signs, aluminum ones, vinyl ones, roll-up ones. I've got all. You've got some of them up there, Jamie.
Yeah,
That say
I can
North
tell
Dakota
you,
Lockout.
Clayton, the Brecht Ranch is circled with a lot of James's signs up there.
Yes, they are.
They're
Yeah,
yellow and black, and they're not plot signs. I can tell you that.
No, they're not. So he sent me a few, and I'm going to take them up. I'm going to give them out. I think I'm going to take some up to Axes, but here's one of them. He said these are on him. Danger, keep out, shooting range. But look what it really says on the bottom there. Full semi-auto scary guns ahead. Snowflake-free zone. This is not a safe space.
Oh, I like that, Clay. I'm gonna need one of them too, to be honest with you.
I happen to have two.
I like
So
it. Awesome.
I'll get
That's
them
awesome,
to you.
man. I like that.
These are mine. I'm keeping these. He sent me these. This one here is private property protected by high-speed wireless device. I like that one.
Yeah, that's sweet. Nice AR on there.
This one here, no trespassing. Violators will be shot. Survivors will be shot again. I love that
sweet,
one.
man. This guy
And
got some cool signs.
That little sign, you can buy these actually on his website. It says, no quarter, no mercy.
Nice. Perfect.
And
That
then
is a patriotic company.
he did send this one, and I thought that'd be a perfect place up there is that Axis range. It's actually a gun safety sign. So what the heck? Why not, right? Although we'll probably ignore some.
Man,
of
that
them.
number 9, I don't know about that one.
We'll just have to scratch that one off.
That's
Know-
afterwards. Anyway.
Know your target and what is beyond.
A lot of rocks up there where we shoot at axes.
So anyway, he sent us a few things, and I've got a orange one too. We might keep this one, I'm thinking, and maybe we'll have a little giveaway one of these days.
Yeah,
Do a
we
little
got we
something
can
and-
couple that because I was just thinking of that this evening, Clayton. We still do have a sweet sling here that
Yes, we
Mr.
do.
Marty Beard gave us 2 of them. Remember, he gave one away a while back. And
Yep. So we might have to try that too, guys. We'll
maybe
have to
next
just
week.
have to
I think
see.
next week, let's do it. Let's do a giveaway.
Okay, sounds good to me. So anyway, he sent us some good things. James is a great guy. Little background on him: he's a retired Marine. He actually went out on January 6th. He went out there to the Capitol to see President Trump do his thing,
Just with the
and that's
communists.
yeah, it must be right. He- and I was actually visiting with him, and I said, "So what really happened out there?" He says, "It's not what they said." He did not go in, thankfully, but he
Mhm.
goes, he could see what was going on, and he said, "The cops, this is real." And there's video of it now showing. He told me this when it happened. The DC police just removed the barricades and basically said,
Oh,
"Come
yeah,
on
I've seen
in."
them. I've seen the videos for sure.
And he was telling me that way back then. He goes, "Something's up here." He says, he called me. He says, "I don't know what's going on here, but something's up. This ain't right." And he goes, "I don't know." He says, I'm getting out of here," and he did. Thank goodness.
Mhm.
He's still out. He's not in jail, so that's a good thing.
Right.
But he helped us out a lot though on the North Dakota lockout signs. Like I said, that's
Yep.
what my place has. I've got
Yep.
several here. The thing with those is that he was the cheapest. I looked for a North Dakota company. Them guys were insane what they wanted for their signs. And I've got the vinyl ones. I've got the hard metal ones. I've got these lighter aluminum ones, and they're all great signs. So
I did get some sweet no hunting or trespassing signs made, but maybe I need to talk to that here in Bismarck for a very reasonable price. I might have to talk to them and see if maybe they want to get on board with a little sponsorship here.
yeah, we might have to. I mean, I can tell you right now, James is a good guy, and he's a solid 100%.
He's got some
Patriot.
cool signs too. They're nice. I got like I said, James is a handiworks represented on the Brecht Ranch, pretty good.
And I'm pretty sure if you guys call him and you tell him you know me, he'll make you even a little better deal because him and I get along great. I'm telling you, he's been a great friend. I know he's been trying to get out here. He wants to come out and just visit like Mount Rushmore and some of the other places, but then come up here and do a little shooting. And I said, absolutely. As I even got a place for you to stay. So we'll see. He's trying to get out here at some point, but I know he's been super busy now again. So we'll see what happens. But
Awesome.
Great guy. And if you know what, if it works out and we go down to Florida, it looks like we're going to drive. I'm going to see how many miles it is to actually go out of my way and go slip down there through North Carolina. If it ain't too bad, I just might do that, or see if maybe we'll invite him down. I might even do that. We'll have to see.
Awesome.
So that's my patriotic company of the week. Again, Minute Maid Signs Inc.com. If you go to Minuteman Signs, believe it. There's an actual another sign company out there like that. They're not nothing like this guy. Trust me, they're not really even in our camp. And he goes, I don't know why they picked that name. He said,
no, because they knew they were going to
did.
make a bunch of money off people who love America and like great signs like that.
Yep. So yeah. Hey, Zach, thank you. He says, this is a great North Dakota born 2A podcast. Thanks for all the hard work, guys. We appreciate that.
Zach.
We really do. Doug says, thank you, Guns and 701. Always, Doug. I think we're gonna have a long relationship. I think.
Oh yeah.
Guns and the 701.
Zach, he wants me to run for something here, doesn't he?
Oh, Jamie Brick, governor.
Appreciate that, man.
I'll be your lieutenant governor.
For you, we'll see what. Hey, I'm going to talk to the District 35 committee over here in a couple of weeks.
Vote Rand Paul.
Yeah, I like Rand Paul for sure.
I really do. So,
all right. Clayton.
Anyway, that is my patriotic company of the week.
Love it, and then that was a great one. I'm definitely on board with what that guy's doing.
And they do custom stuff. You can get out. When I contacted him, we made the design, got it to him. It was real easy, and he had it around. In fact, he's the guy that made the Dump Doug stickers. That's the guy.
Oh, all right. Here we go. You're gonna know this is some familiar music to you. Happy ending story inbound. I'd vote for Jamie, but he lives on the bad side of the river. Hey, just like in DC, man, there's good people down there too. There's good people on the east side of the river. So.
There you go.
Hey, Marty lives on the east side of the river too. So
he does, that's right.
All right, Clay. East. Wait a minute. East side of the Red River, or anyway. All right. So the happy ending of the week comes from us here. A Memphis family was visiting Little Rock, Arkansas for their daughter's 7th birthday, taking her and their other daughter to the water park and zoo there on Memorial Day. This is obviously a while back here, but when they were ready to leave, they put the 2 girls in the vehicle, and the mother, who was pregnant, sat in the driver's seat while her husband packed up the car in the parking garage. However, an attacker had other ideas, and he came up to the man, struck him multiple times, tackled him to the ground, then came up to the wife, who started wailing on her. The wife drew her gun and shot the attacker in the neck, which, hey, we were talking about neck shots, right?
Yes, we were. Yes, we were.
She said, we never knew what he was really planning or anything. It was if he was trying to kidnap our girls or just trying to steal the car or what. The wife suffered contusions on her forehead, and the father had a fractured rib. Unfortunately, the assailant remained in the hospital and didn't do a total happy ending. But the happy ending, of course, the mother saved her whole family basically by neck shooting this scumbag who, for no reason, obviously he was going to try and steal the car and take all.
Yeah.
But he got one in the neck, missed his carotid. But yeah, happy ending of the week. And trust me, you can get these stories every week. I
Every
got
week,
this one
every
from a while
day.
back, obviously, and sometimes, Clay, I take it back to the '60s, even right from the.
We did, yeah. That was a pretty
archives.
good story.
Yeah,
too.
and there's some violent son of a guns back then too. So
You
yeah.
can't believe how many stories there are out there like that.
yeah, we're never gonna have a shortage of them. So
No,
yeah, hey Clay, I just seen your text here on this group thing here.
You
yeah,
like that, huh?
We got a lot of people who aren't listening, who are our friends, aren't tuned into Guns in the 701 that are on Chinese commie TikTok or whatever they're doing.
Yeah,
So
I'm
hey,
not
guys,
on there.
appreciate you guys. Thanks.
I'm gonna point out one thing here, guys. Zach, he did an order here, so I'll show you what he got here. Here's the design he had
There
on the
you go.
one. We do have that. We don't have any made up, but if you need something like that, we can do it. If you got a suggestion, most likely I can probably accommodate something like that. But you'd have to contact me personally and see what we can get done if you're looking for something. But yeah,
Yeah. All right, Clay,
also,
I got another text too. Of somebody heard it. My boss, actually, TJ said I was listening. About the
okay,
next
that's
one. So, yeah.
that's good to hear. That's
Appreciate
good to
that,
hear.
Tommy J. He can
I'm also going to throw
multitask.
this out here. We're down now to I think like 125 tickets if I counted up right after the
I still
county
got
fair.
some too.
And Jamie's. Well, I think that includes the ones you got. I got
Oh,
everybody's tickets. So if you still want some, there are some left. I'm hoping to sell these out by the 16th when our annual meeting takes place. But it's the Grant Sioux County Farm Bureau, North Dakota Farm Bureau raffle. Noreen AR-10. These are manufactured in Belgrade, Montana. And guys, these are primo AR-10s. Chambered in 30-06, customized steel plates engraved by A&A Engraving. Of course, we did a Cerakote, a black Cerakote on that gun. This is a user's gun. This baby's ready to rock and roll. It's only 101 produced, and tickets are $20 each. There's a limit of 500. Like I think it was like 125 or 6 tickets when I counted them up. So
yeah,
it's
a hunting rifle. It's a 30.
It's definitely a hunting rifle.
You got to get yourself a buck tag. Get out there and get your wall hanger with that sweet piece right there.
Yep. Oh, and Waylon put out there. I think he said stop by. Let's see what he got here. Stop at River City Sports. He's got tickets there. So stop in, see Waylon, ask for
Parks
Waylon.
Department.
And he will get you set up with some fine tickets, guys. He's got 4
Waylon
left.
will talk some guns and hunting with you too. So
Awesome. David's got 1 left at 1760 Sports, and then Jamie's got. So we've got them in the Bismarck Mandan area. If you need them, you can go ahead and grab them right there. But
you bet.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna get rid of that. Waylon, wow, yeah, I've got 6 books, so awesome, man. That's awesome.
Waylon's like people said Obama and Joe Biden were gun salesmen of the year. I think Waylon, our buddy Waylon Turn is here. Good guy, big supporter of the show. I think he's the raffle ticket salesman.
We might have to have him join Farm Bureau down there in Grant Sioux County. Sell them all. It makes my odds worse.
Oh, what's that? I don't see Marty Wood. I can't read that comment on the bottom there.
What's that? Oh, Marty? Let me look here.
I could see Marty crossing.
Oh, there it is right there. I can see Marty crossing the river in a hollowed out cottonwood with a pack of dogs on point. Probably.
Dave, he's probably done it, just nobody's seen it. I mean, I wouldn't bet against it.
And if anybody's interested in any of our shirts, our gear, anything like that, hop on our website as Zach did. And yeah, we've got stuff ready to rock and roll up there. Hats.
Yeah. So Zach, if you're still listening, was a pretty easy procedure there for you. I know Clay's done I did a trial run. He said it was pretty easy. So
yeah, and it looked like it went through pretty easy. So yeah, I don't know.
Okay, good.
David, I'll take $20 off the next purchase to whoever buys my last ticket. And there you go. There you go.
Nice.
1760 Sports LLC. I think is that .com. I don't remember, David. I don't remember off the top of my head. But if you go out there and you just search 1760 Sports, I bet you it'll come up. I'm gonna try it right now.
Well, we're at $1.40. Just about $1.45, Clay.
So I will tell everybody, it's 1760sports.com. So 1760sports.com. That'll get you in touch with David, and he'll get you set up.
All right.
And he'll order anything you want to, by the way.
Yeah, I can vouch for it.
So, all right, I guess we'll call that a wrap. We want to thank our sponsors again, Lara Auto Repair down there on 309 South Washington Street. Contact them guys at 701-258-6308. And of course, the Blind Guy in North Dakota. Tammy and Wyatt do a great job. They're very professional, and they'll hook you up with some great blinds. Visit blindguynd.com. Again, blindguynd.com. There it is right there. And they've been our Patriot company of the week. So
did some prairie dog shooting with the blind guy and the blind gal and my buddy Bill last week again down there on the Hepper Ranch. It wasn't as good as when we went the week before, but
right.
It was still pretty fun either way, and a nice day, and beats the hell out of work any day when you're out there smoking prairie dogs with AR-15.
That beats work any day, don't it?
Yeah. And again, Friday, Clay, where are we going to be on Friday?
We will be on Todd Mitchell in the morning, 5:50 a.m. radio, 7:40 a.m. Mountains, 8:40 Central. And I might, I'm going to send you these. I don't know if I did yet, but I'm going to send you one of these. Has to do with some ATF stuff down in Florida. Maybe we'll talk about that on the show.
Good.
And,
yeah.
Maybe we should do a poll this week, though. Huh?
AFT. We're going to do a poll. I got a poll. I'll tell you right now. It's going to be. We're going to get some hackles riled up. Maybe if we want to discuss it, Clay. We're going to talk about some public land.
I love talking about taxpayer.
I know it gets you going there. Public. That's why I was like, Clay's going to like this one.
You know my opinion of it.
Yeah, for sure. So look, tomorrow at some point I'm gonna get the new poll up. We're gonna give it a good head start. And once again, Clay and I we're not gonna be on In the Crosshairs Monday and 11th, which is actually Patriot Day. Clay is gonna be our last day on In the Crosshairs with Jay Dillon on KFYR Plus. Again, amicably split, not because of anything bad. It's just Clay and I are times, we're time constraints. I have a job. Clay's a rancher. And that's just the way it's going to be. We appreciate them having us on there. We were on there since what, Clay? January or February, right? It's been about 6 months.
Yeah.
So.
And had a great time with Jay Dillon. I think we still need to try to do the Jay Dillon versus Todd Mitchell.
We can still definitely pull that one off for sure. And coming up, I think in October, we're coming up on is when we're going to be on a year on Mitchell in the morning. So.
We've already been a year here. We're on episode.
Yeah, we went past it. We totally spaced
we kind of forgot about it here at the beginning of August. So much fun. We don't even know what's happening. Right?
Yeah. But, that's why it's hard to shut up. We keep going. So
thanks, guys, for everything, for following us and listening to us, watching our videos, and we're planning to maybe have I don't know if we'll do that next week. I might have to talk to Jamie. There's something come up that maybe Wednesday might be a good time to have the bird hunting dog segment with Wyatt. I may have to skip out next Wednesday. I don't know yet.
Yeah. So, well, if you do skip out, you give me a heads up. We don't need a week's heads up because I
need to show you how to run this a little bit though.
Yeah, we can do that. But as far as content, Wyatt's he's a master at training bird dogs, a big bird hunter his whole life, and I guarantee we can talk the whole hour and a half, hour and 40.
And maybe we should just have him on anyway. Regardless, but anyway, we'll keep everybody informed on that. So
for sure.
All right. With that, Clayton, guys, I want to thank everybody again. Thank our sponsors. If you need tickets or gear, you know where to get it. Hit up gunsandthe701.com. We got all your great gear there. Order it up. Koozies, look at there. Hot off the press, right?
You bet.
By a local
designs. You bet.
Like I say, by a local patriotic company themselves. So. I guess with that, we will let everybody go for this evening. Thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you guys next week. Don't keep your powder dry.